Hello everybody, welcome to the Empressive channel. I want to talk about Chloe Bailey's new album, but also I want to talk about this disturbing information about Kanye West. But before I do, I first want to thank Aura for sponsoring this video. Have you ever been bombarded by spam calls to the point that you don't even answer your phone when you see a strange number? If you ever wondered why this can happen, one of the reasons is because big companies can't keep our data safe. Recently, AT&T revealed that nearly all of their customers' calls and text records have been exposed in a massive data breach. And it hasn't even been a few months since they admitted over 70 million of their users' social security numbers ended up on the dark web. The stolen logs also contain a record of every number that AT&T customers called or texted. So your number was exposed even if someone who used AT&T contacted you. So what can we do to protect ourselves? Well, I use Aura. Aura alerts me if any of my sensitive information has been compromised in a breach. They also give me fraud alerts if anyone tries to use any of this data to access my credit or bank accounts. And Aura does so much more. With Aura, I get transaction monitoring, a VPN, antivirus, a password manager, parental controls, and identity theft insurance, all in one affordable price. I can even get their AI-powered call assistant where they could screen unknown calls on my behalf, filtering out spams and scams and forwarding me all of the legitimate calls. I can't leave the protection of my sensitive data up to chance. And if you don't want to either, go to aura.com/impressive or click the link in the description and try out your first 2 weeks for free. Now back to the video. Recently, Chloe just dropped her second album, Trouble in Paradise. And I have to say, I really like this album a lot. This is an album that I could easily play all the way through. It's almost like the aftermath of her album In Pieces. In her first album, In Pieces, you know, she was heartbroken and it was a bit all over the place, even though I do appreciate how experimental she was with the sounds. It was a bit all over the place. However, with this album, it seems like everything is a bit more cohesive in terms of just the theme. This is like the post-heartbreak album. She's still kind of dealing with the effects of the heartbreak, but she's also moving on. She's not wallowing in her pain as much. She's a bit more free. She's a bit more lighthearted. And she's obviously very expressive when it comes to her sexuality. So you can hear all of this on the album, but you could also still hear a tinge of sadness when it comes to this relationship she went through. So it kind of shows that she is still coping a little bit, but I do like the concept of the album as a whole. I did like her singles Boy Bye and FYS. Also, I really like Temporarily Single. I like that one. I like Favorite with Anderson .Paak. That's a fun one. Nice Girls Finish Last was cool. I really loved Want Me featuring Halle Bailey. Oh my gosh, I replayed that song multiple times. I love the lyrics. I love the concept about wanting a guy who doesn't want you, but the guy who does want you, you don't want. That's such a real thing sometimes. And I just thought Halle did her thing. Like, oh my gosh, I need Halle to drop her album ASAP. Immediately. I mean, I'm tired of waiting, but I like Chloe and Halle together. They're just perfect, you know. Also, I like Same Lingerie. Same Lingerie for some reason does remind me of just 2010s R&B music that you would hear K. Michelle or Tamar Braxton sing. And there were a few songs on the album that kind of gave me that standard R&B music where she's pouring out her emotions and singing. She was really singing on this album, but what else is new? Chloe's always gonna sing down. I also appreciated that she added different up-tempo records. Like, I like Boy Bye. I really like Favorite featuring Anderson .Paak. That is a standout to me. I also like Strawberry Lemonade. That was a cute record. Shake featuring Jeremiah was very infectious. And she had a few Caribbean inspired songs like Never Let You Go featuring YG Marley. That one is cool too. And Redemption. I wish Redemption was longer though. I felt like that was too short, but I like the variety she had on this album. Also, the song she had with Ty Dolla $ign called Might As Well was dope. To me, this was a better version of Cheat Back, much better version. But overall, I was very satisfied with this album. This is a solid R&B album. Chloe should be proud of herself, and I do hope this album does better than her previous work because she deserves it. Unfortunately, this album did not get the promotion that it needed at all. I mean, I don't know what's going on with these labels these days. I do know Chloe is signed to Parkwood, and her parent label is Columbia Records, and Columbia is responsible for funding and promoting her music, but they are not really invested, I could tell. But at least she is able to release music, so that's a good thing. And she has a good touring resume, so she could easily go out on the road and make money. So she's always going to be profitable in that regard, but I just kind of wish the label gave this album more attention. But I do have a feeling that the people are going to catch on and it's going to organically grow. Now, moving on, I want to get into this disturbing story about Kanye West. It's being alleged that Kanye is hooked on nitrous oxide, which is laughing gas, and his addiction has gone overboard to the point that he could face brain damage and potentially pass away within 5 years. And his dentist, Thomas P. Conley, is being accused of providing him with this nitrous oxide. Now, this sounds a bit familiar, doesn't it? It sounds familiar to what happened with Michael Jackson when his doctor, Conrad Murray, was providing him with propofol to the point that Michael ended up having a cardiac arrest. And I wouldn't be surprised if Kanye faces a similar demise, because Kanye pissed off the powers that be big time. So they've been waiting to take him out, but they want to do it in a way that's not so obvious. That's what I think. So if they could get him to get addicted and get him high to the point that he loses his mind completely and signs away his rights to everything, that would be perfect for them, because they could watch him fall to his demise and then they can make money off of him posthumously. I mean, that's what they do to all the greats, right? When they kind of fallen off, that's when the industry is looking like, well, they would make more money dead than alive, so let's get rid of them. It's apparent that there is some very sinister stuff going on with Kanye West. I mean, if you remember, his former personal trainer, Harley Pasternak, threatened to institutionalize him, and Kanye said he was stalking him in another country, and that was very alarming. But this is how desperate they were to control Kanye, because he was talking too much. Now, Kanye's former chief in staff, Milo Yiannopoulos, I think, he's a very controversial figure, but apparently he's one of the few people that care enough about Kanye. He's putting it on blast that Kanye's dentist, Thomas P. Conley, is out here drugging him up with nitrous gas. This is also called laughing gas, and it's supposed to make you feel euphoric and make you relaxed and calm. However, long-term effects can cause nerve and brain damage. And Kanye has been using this gas for a while. He promoted it on his IG story. He even talked about it in his paper interview back in 2015. I don't know if he was addicted to it then, but allegedly he is addicted to it now.
Ryan Garcia, this Jay, I'm on a nitrous. And I was at the dentist's office the other day. I was taking a nitrous oxide. I suggested if anybody's like stressed out.
Now, Milo filed a complaint with the California Dental Board and signed this affidavit talking about how unethical Thomas Conley has been. And he claims that this dentist is charging Kanye more than $50,000 a month to supply the gas. He said this in his post: "There is a reason Ye, formerly known as Kanye, is no longer capable of successfully releasing music or clothing. In fact, there are several reasons, but the most serious and the most recent is his dentist, Thomas Conley. Connolly got Ye hooked on nitrous laughing gas. It is my belief that Connolly sought to diminish Ye's mental faculties so that Connolly and his business associates can extract millions of dollars from him. Earlier this year, I uncovered the fraud and intervened. Ye, hooked on nitrous, blew up our relationship on purpose by proposing something he knew I'd have to resign over because I told him so. The resurrection of his longtime idle fantasy of making porn." I don't even know why Kanye is trying to do this, but anyway, Thomas Conley is a dangerous predator who targets African-American celebrities and to whose mouth he puts fake diamonds, as I suspect he did to Lil Yachty. He must be stopped. I filed a complaint with the California Dental Board last week to that end. In his actual complaint, he said that the dentist Conley moved in the same apartment complex as Kanye, and he alleged that someone witnessed him send 4 tanks of nitrous gas to Kanye's home in one day alone, and Kanye would allegedly use the gas by himself with no supervision from a doctor or a healthcare provider, and that is illegal. This is also what Milo said in his complaint. These are his words, not mine.
It was around that time that one of the junior staff confessed he had seen Connolly hauling 4 large surgical tanks of nitrous oxide into Bianca Sensori's apartment building, and that something had told him to take a couple of photographs. When challenged, Connolly admitted he had taken the canisters to Ye's home, but he insisted, absurdly, that they were empty and that they had always been empty. I was told over the telephone by a Yeezy employee who wishes to remain anonymous that they directly witnessed Ye self-administering the nitrous gas provided by Connolly. Most disturbingly of all, I learned that Connolly had moved into the apartment building Ye resided at during this period. There can be no doubt he was aware of Ye's psychological vulnerabilities. I believe he sought to exploit them. Payment records from Yeezy LLC show hundreds of thousands of dollars in payments to Connolly, and that's just the ones I know about up until May, such as $257,000 on January 7th, marked dental work, followed by another $61,000 for anesthesia 2 weeks later on January 29th, also marked dental work, and these are 2 of many payments. Connolly may have done irreparable harm to the mind of the world's most talented living musician, and arguably its most commercially successful living fashion designer. There can be no medical justification for the presence of 4 surgical-sized canisters of nitrous gas at any patient's home. Nor can there be any explanation for Connolly moving into the same building as Ye that is not sinister in the extreme. The wrongdoing of men like Connolly is a subject for federal law enforcement and not for celebrity managers or dental boards, but I urge the California Dental Board to suspend this man's license immediately.
There was a lot more said in this affidavit, but I thought these were the most disturbing pieces of information. But it seems like Kanye is completely unraveling and he's financially being exploited and taken advantage of, and he's not really good with his business at all. Like, everyone in his circle is draining his pockets and he's pretty much high off the laughing gas, living in a whole nother reality. So Kanye is in a dangerous situation where he could end up broke or dead. And it is sad to watch. I do hope there is some intervention soon, but this is bad, real bad, Michael Jackson. Anyway, tell me what y'all think about this video down below. Please like, comment, and subscribe, and share this video if you care. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll